Yeah. Why don't you join yourself? Oh, sorry, can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Hello?
Hey, can you hear me?
Yep, we can hear you. Yep, we can hear you.
So we'll give everyone a couple more minutes until we, another minute before we get started, just because we changed the link.
Look how smooth Pukar is getting his bag up. Just sliding behind that old lady. Just didn't hit her with the bag at all.
All right, I think we have most people here. To be honest, I actually can't even tell about here. Cool. All right, so I'm going to share my screen so you guys can see what we have for what we shipped this week. A lot of it will kind of be around the Breckenridge and some of the work that we did there. 1 second. And just be prepared. I'll call you out if you have a hard stop and you need to leave early. Let me know, and we can and we can move you to the front of the line. Can you guys see my screen?
Yes, we can see it.
Cool. Joe, I think you're up first. And actually, sorry, Joe, just before we get started. So you guys remember the intention behind this, what we shipped this week, is to sort of have incremental for two things: to ensure that we have kind of consistent rhythm and cadence on the team, and secondly, to show kind of what we're working on and kind of keep everyone context, but not have everyone get lost in the day-to-day of it all. So lastly, and I guess the third thing is to kind of get everyone geeked up before we head off into the weekend.
I'm sorry. I was thinking we were starting with engineering. I need 1 second to get my head wrapped around.
Yeah, while we wait for Disruption Joe, I can introduce Stanisław. Stan is someone that I worked with, and he has a POC demo to showcase. I don't know if Stan wants to go first in terms of his POC demo, but at the very least, I'd like to start off the meeting just introducing Stan. Stan, do you want to say a few words about yourself?
Yeah, hi. Hello, everyone. My name is Stan. I'm software engineer. I was working a few years ago with James, and last few years I spent working on blockchain in blockchain industry, and currently exploring AI topics. So today I want to present the demo of, let's say, my vision, how the model could look like in the future. So yeah.
Yeah, and what Stan's working on is just agent-to-agent messaging. This is something that in the previous call Don was talking about, and already have Stan working on that. And so he can show a POC, but I don't know if we want to have Disruption Joe go first or what the order lineup is for Run a Show.
I prefer engineering first. I think always doing engineering first is a good thing to do from a norms thing. You know, what we're doing is building a product, and that should always be first.
Awesome. Okay, so maybe Stan can show his POC. This is kind of a standalone. It's a little bit more technical. So Stan's going to walk through just the messaging, and how he envisions these microservices of agents working together. I'll let Stan talk about it in more detail. And then I think, Kush, you also have a demo as well, just to kind of iterate on what we showcased last Thursday at ETH Denver when it comes to Minecraft and this inter-agent kind of payment system in the context of Minecraft. So Stan, do you want to take it away?
Yeah, of course. So I will try to share my screen first. How to do this? One moment. Do you see my screen?
Yes.
Yeah, so this is the demo. So I prepared the platform with currently one interface, which is a Telegram bot. On the end, I will show on the diagram how it's working. So currently we can join the bot and it have a random incoming messages. And I prepare some tests examples how we can communicate with the bot. Let's start with something simple. Sorry. So the first example is the checking the weather in Toronto and generating the MD5 hash for the message test. The platform, the backend extract the tasks from the user query and create the action plan. So the action plan are two tasks: check the weather, check Toronto weather, and it choose automatically the weatherman agent and the generating hash. So we have two tasks in our action plan. We can approve it, and it will after that it call the external agents and present the results. We can also ask model for summary everything which was done. So on the end, we will get the message built from the context of agent responses and the query from the user. We can also, to better demonstrate how it's working, I can turn on the debug mode and using example command, we can run some example tasks. So on the beginning, we have pending definition. So we get the raw query from the user, and then the backend, the Cortex part of the system, detects the following tasks from the raw query. Next, it asks registry service for the agent which can solve specific tasks and prepare the action plan. And when the action plan is done, we need to confirm that we want to execute it. So after approve, we get the messages from each of the agents. So inside each of the actions in action plan, we have arguments which we need to call the agent specific agent.
Sorry, I didn't see that.
And on the end, we have a result of each of the tasks. Just like in previous example, we get on the end, we have a result and we can summary it on just say no. And that's all from the presentation. Currently system is connected with the two agents. So the first which can randomly answering with the weather, and the second which have two skills. The first one generating the MD5 hashes from the message and the SH hash from the message. So both of the agents share their skill to the platform, and the platform can detect which skill is currently required to process the user tasks. Maybe I will show you the diagram, also how the communication will look like. It's a little bit boring and complicated, so yeah, so let's start from Telegram. Telegram, using the Telegram webhook, we get the notification. It's going to the gateway, and gateway detect that that the message is a raw query. It's going to the chat. It's open a chat. Next, sending to the workflow, starting the job process, requesting, creating the new job. And each time when something is changed in the job state, we get a notification on the Telegram API. So first, we need to ask encoder to extract the task from the query, and then we are updating state and sending the notification to user. Then we are asking registry to find the tools which can be used to solve the query, and then we use that tools to process the query to extract the final list of the tools which can be used later. Next, we are asking registry to get the information about the agents, update the state, and sending the approval request to the user using the Telegram API. After approval, we're starting the job process. Workflow, sending the request to the executor, and executor sending the request to each of the agent. On the end, on each step, we get the notification in our workflow and chat. So on each step, we can notify the user about the progress of the job. On the end, when we have a list of all of the results from the agents, I'm asking the user to confirm if he wants to have a summarization of the results. And next, we are asking decoder to process this and create the final summary. Yeah, that's all from my side, let's say.
Awesome. Thank you.
I will share that diagram, of course, with everyone. And currently, I'm working on private repository, but next week there is a plan to publish it to MotherDAO GitHub organization.
Yeah, excellent. Thank you so much, Dan. So just to provide a bit of context here, the last few weeks, first we were working on getting the middleware together. Once we got the middleware all integrated together, we had agents tap into the middleware. And what we saw, like on the demo that Kush showed on stage at Ember, was agent-to-agent coordination in the context of a visualization inside of Minecraft. Here, what Stan is working on is orchestration. So in this context, you can have, like in this example that he put, was just the mother orchestrator agent coordinating amongst other agents. This can also be applied to agents themselves, so that agents can actually subdivide their tasks to other agents or other tasks, like using MCP or LangChain or tool calling or whatever you want to choose. So there is a difference, and I just want to be clear, is that like what Kush is heading up is agent to agent coordination, and what Stan is working on is this more holistic orchestration. Orchestration is a little bit more complicated because you have to have a standard for all of these agents to communicate with. And so this is what we're exploring and working on independently of each other. And it's not as visually appealing, but it's actually foundational and fundamental to the middleware aspect of it. And we plan to refine this and merge the coordination with the orchestration part. So thank you, Stan. And with that, I guess we can just move on to Kush, unless Stan, you wanted to add anything else that I'm missing, or if there are any other questions.
I also prepared a simple SDK for the agents. So I can show you how easily it is to create the method. So this is only description, the definition of parameters and the handler, and on the end the simple SDK framework can be attached to, for example, Fastify, and using the few lines of code agents can share the skills and also ask the API to communicate with different agents. So everything is working very smoothly and is really easy to integration.
Yeah, so we want to abstract like the intuition, social graph, and all of that to the end user. We assume that we're going to be catering from an agent dev perspective more toward like a Web 2 non-crypto user. So we just want to make this as simple to onboard these agent devs to. And then with that, then we can have Kush talk about the kind of lower level coordination aspect when it comes to agent and payments. And this is an iteration off of the demo that Kush presented on stage on Thursday.
Yep. Thanks. So if I can share my screen. Uh, is it visible?
Yes.
Awesome. All right. So this week, basically at Breck, a lot of task was just to, take all the information from different, parties and like putting it together. So currently, like we have like a very basic plan on how we're gonna like move forward with the product, and it basically takes into account the integration of both the agent to agent communication side of it, which let's say right now all the teams like EXO and Ember and Nevermind, Intuition, all these different aspects, and also what Stan is working on, which is gonna be like the core orchestration agent, which actually like enables and facilitates the communication to happen, like merging them together going forward. So it's like a very rough plan right now to get to a developer friendly, let's say V0 or let's say a V1 of registry by the end of this month. So yeah, for that purpose itself, we basically had multiple things planned for this call. For example, the XO Minecraft launcher, we want to build a simple developer interface so that they can use XO's natural language, code generation capabilities to instantly like generate an agent and deploy it directly on Minecraft without having to register on the registry and stuff. The next will be like the token minting process with WoW, so that every agent which is associated with the registry can then mint their own tokens and swap them with the Ember SDK, Ember agent on the network, and use Nevermind to then enable this particular coordination. And then there's a Twitch streaming aspect of it, which is right now in the works as well, so that all the agents who are a part of the registry can then stream these updates. So with that, let me actually go into the Minecraft server and like showcase what we have here. So as you can see, there's Alice and like Bob. So now the thing is, for this particular demo, we basically integrated intuition into the particular scenario. So now if I ask Bobbot to, first let's get him to a common, let's say a flat space. Yep. So now if I ask the Bobbot to kind of,
Hey, Kush, do you want to make that full screen?
oh, just a second. Yep. If we ask Bobbot to like build a platform, it now actually like goes on to the intuition registry and finds the merchant agents nearby, and then connects with them on the Nevermind protocol. And oh, that was a wrong command. Sorry. Yeah. So it actually checks for agents on the intuition registry and then asks them to connect with them, does the on-chain transaction which is happening through Nevermind at the moment, gets their plan, and then it's the same flow as a particular week. So it basically added intuition into the particular process which was previously not happening. And if you can see, it's the terminal over here. Yep. So yeah, they've basically reached an agreement, and Alice has received, let's say, the command from Nevermind to go and do the particular task. So harvest task has been submitted. Right now, my laptop is a bit slow because it's like working 3 to 4 different servers at the moment. But yeah, that's basically what's gonna be happening. Uh, so that's the part over there. Then we also like worked on a mint command, which currently is kind of like not working at the moment because we've had some dependency issues. But if you want to type mint command over here, like bot will actually go in the back end and hit the Collabland APIs and try to like mint the token. Let's say that you have previously defined on mint on bow.xyz. Uh, yeah, there are some issues on the infrastructure side right now which are being taken care of. So we're not completely ready with this. So yeah, but these are things that have been like worked on right now. Moving on, we've also like worked to like integrate the Ember agents onto the registry. So Ember agents have been put on the registry. They are currently being integrated on a code level so that they can be accessed. So if I, for example, use find agents command for finding the page people who can like enable swap for me, so we can like then see now two of these swapping agents which have been put over there by Ember SDK. And yeah, another update over here is like the uh, find events command that we had previously planned for Denver, so that we could enable the multi-agentic coordination to happen between these agents, so that people can like find side events on a more personalized level, which was like previously not working as well, has been like updated. So I mean, this bot in itself has like no use right now, but this can be like very easily repurposed to fit other use cases that we see fit in the future and like showcase this multi-agent communication happening. So this takes a bit of time because it does natural language processing and a lot of other things in the back end. But yeah, so that's basically happening from end to end now. So those are like some things that have been worked on, and of course it basically then gives us side events based on the user's query. So yeah, that's pretty much from my side. Suraj is here on call. He has been working on the EXO integration. Uh, he was running into some issues as well. So I'll let him take over, and then Toby is over here who has been working on the Twitch integration for the bot. So over there also we were running into some version issues, but I'm pretty sure that we can like wrap these all up and get them polished pretty soon. So yeah.
Hey everyone, can you all hear me? Awesome.
Yep.
Thank you so much, Kush. Thank you so much, Kush, for the demo. So I'll be showcasing what we've been working on at EXO. So the idea that we have been working on is essentially, one is we want to make it seamless for folks to be part of any agent devs or non-developers to be part of the mother registry, so that the registration to the registry becomes seamless and becomes less challenging. Other than that, what we're also doing is we want to provide an infrastructure for agents. So once an agent has been once the agent is created, an agent dev has completed their entire code, we want to make it seamless so that they can deploy it on a server, and even non-technical users can launch their agents very quickly. So what I'm going to showcase it to you is that so far, currently the registration process is still manual, where you have to go and register your agent through the registry, but we will work on it to integrate it into the same launcher as well. Once you've completed it, what we can simply do is, let's say if you would like to launch an agent, you can just give it like Bob, and then users should simply just enter their Nevermind API key into our platform. Yeah, they can enter their Nevermind API key. They can either choose OpenAI or GaiaNet URL as an LLM provider they would like to use for their agent. So if I go and use this, I'm using a Gaia node domain. Oh, sorry. Yeah, Gaia node domain. So, and then they can just simply launch agent by just clicking here. So what's going to happen is, what's happening in the background is an agent, an entire Docker image is getting spin up in our infrastructure. And based on that infrastructure, what is happening is whatever env that has been provided, they can be launched, and that agent will be able to quickly join the Minecraft server as soon as it gets started. So it's going to take some time because it's still building an image in the background and it's composing stuff up. So yeah, as soon as that gets completed and reported, you'll see a Minecraft agent join the server. As of now, we've limited it so that it can join a very specific server, and an integration where you will be able to specify either to join on a private server or just any public server that they would like to join. And
Awesome.
I think we should see it up joining the server pretty soon, as soon as the entire process starts up. So what it's doing is it's not only just joining a server or anything, it's actually spinning up a new agent instance. It's giving an infrastructure for the instance, and as well as then we can just join into any server or any agent is going to be live. So if, for instance, if you want to have a DeFi agent or any agent, it can be very quickly spin up, and we can allow non-developers to also come and become a part of our registry.
Excellent. While we wait for the Docker to build and then to show and launch online, can give a really quick recap. What we're trying to do with orchestration is get an orchestration agent to be able to then hire multiple agents. And that's what Stan was showcasing. What Kush was showcasing was this ability for agent to agent interaction in the kind of context of Minecraft. And what we showed last Thursday at ETH Denver was just using stablecoins for agents to pay one another. What we are working towards and what we wanted to deliver today was to showcase these agents launching their own coins and using Nevermind, having arbitrary ERC20 tokens so that these agents can pay each other in their native token. And it's really interesting to see in chat where these agents are communicating so that you're not just seeing it like in server logs. And so you can actually have these agents communicate with one another, perform a task, and be completed. And here, what Suraj is showcasing is how can you launch an agent if you are a non-technical user. And so what we want to do is like really lower the barrier to entry when it comes to creating agents. Yeah, so this is just kind of the summary TLDR of what we're trying to showcase this week. Next week, what we're going to be working on is being able to marry the orchestration with the coordination. So what Stan is building, we're going to try and see how we can integrate. We'll see, and we'll talk about on Monday in the engineering stand-up if we can do that this next Friday or maybe the Friday after that. And when it comes to Minecraft, we want to just expand. So instead of just having 2 agents, we'll have multiple agents. And then finally, we have Toby on the engineering side showcasing these agents on a separate platform. So you've seen in these demos, Stan using Telegram, you see Kush using Minecraft. I don't know if we'll be able to see a live stream from the agent's perspective on Twitch, but the theory is that these agents don't need to have their own like website or destination or dApp that they go to. We want to meet users where they're at, and I think that for those that follow along with these Yapper agents on Twitter, you can see that them all coordinating on separate platforms. And so what we're trying to do at Mother is simultaneously be multi-platform, multi-agent, and ultimately multi-chain. So we have some other features in the works to make that happen. But as Kush was saying, the goal is to get this kind of whole holistic system with the coordination, with the orchestration, the multi-platform with multi-agents out, hopefully by the end of the month. So hopefully that kind of gives a broader context, because I can imagine those on the call may not have that context to understand how all of these demos weave together.
It's very helpful. And I don't know, is Toby going to go next, or I think I see Toby on the call. Toby, are you there?
Hello, hello. Can you hear me?
Yep. Go ahead.
I'm audible. Yeah. Apologies for my camera. Trying to Yeah. Okay. I'm just going to go. So hello everyone. Toby here. From the engineering team. Trying to share my screen. Let me know when you can see my screen.
Yep, we can see it.
Okay, great. So at the moment, I was running to integrate the like street Twitch streaming feature. The idea was I basically just like had each bot be able to one sec. Yeah, each bot be able to on spawn. So when the bot spawns into the Minecraft server, the bot is able to render its view to Minecraft directly to Twitch directly from Minecraft. Essentially rebuilding the like 3D view of the bot to Twitch. That was basically like how this works. So get this RTMP link, configure a bunch of things, including FFmpeg, and then you stream that. Um, this will be a short demo because at the moment I was trying to fix some dependency issues with versioning. Um, but other than that, that's basically the logic that I'm going with to enable the stream. So I got the stream key from Twitch, connected to my account, and then I rebuild essentially the 3D view of the bot directly to this Twitch, to the respective Twitch accounts. So yeah, I don't know if you have any questions, but I'm trying to like debug actively, if that helps.
No worries. I appreciate it. Okay, so what we'll do is hopefully by next Friday show the working Twitch integration. There's some issues
Okay.
here that we're facing. I think that there have been also some coordination issues post ETH Denver because a lot of the team also went to Breck. So there was some good chat at Breck in terms of coordinating with agent devs on the marketing side. But this week, I think you've seen that we weren't able to fully deliver on the engineering side. But hopefully we'll have a better and more tight video next Friday. But I think that
Awesome.
wraps
Thank
up
you, James.
engineering.
Yeah, and I was going to ask you one question. Could you just explain to everyone? So you gave a great summary of kind of how all these things are tying together, and how they're all tying together kind of within Minecraft as the coordination part and the orchestration part. Why do all those things matter for Mother in terms of like as we're going towards fundraise, as we think about the product and how it's a coordination layer for an agent registry? Why do all those things matter even within the context of a game?
So at the end of the day, a consumer just wants to interface with an agent. And then all of the complexity, all of the different layers on the kind of verifiable, decentralized tech stack just need to work. And what we want to do with Minecraft is just to have a visualization so that you can easily verify these agents are able to orchestrate and coordinate and pay each other in a trust minimized way. And we're just building in public right now. So we're trying to hit these weekly deliverables just to keep ourselves accountable on the engineering team. And so we're building kind of these pieces. And what we plan to do and what we hope is to be able to have this all tied together in a very simple, easy demo that you can just see the different agents in Minecraft. And we chose Minecraft because it's like a sandbox simulation environment, because it's harder to verify if you had like these real world agents, buying you a pizza and scheduling a flight and booking a hotel, doing your Ubers and scheduling your side events for a conference. So I think that's harder to demonstrate holistically because there's a lot more real world moving parts. So what we want to do is create the sandbox simulation environment in Minecraft so that a viewer or someone can actually see the coordination happening in this fictitious universe, and then be able to then say, okay, well, that is just easily applied to any arbitrary real world scenario. What we're like doing is trying to force the simulation to understand where the bottlenecks are at scale. So we have 2 agents now. What we want to do is get to 10 agents, and then from 10 agents get to 100, then to 1,000, and kind of see where the optimizations at scale are required, because we think that there are going to be few agents now, and then all of a sudden there are going to be many. And we want to prepare for that. And it's harder to coordinate that if they're doing real world things. So we're just using Minecraft as the kind of simulation sandbox.
Awesome. Thank you so much, James. That makes a lot of sense. I think next up we have Disruption Joe. You want to go ahead, Joe?
Yep. So I wanted to share a little bit about what was happening at Breck. And basically the idea is, from East Denver and Breck, we wanted to walk away with, our goal going there was fundraising. We learned a lot about that side. And then we wanted to talk to, each other and the people that were there, the other engineering teams, and walk away with actionable outputs. So in terms of the fundraising, what we learned was the demand for the nodes was lower than we thought. The demand for the round was higher than we thought. So what we've done is we are now doing a SAFT pre-sale that is privately put out there, because we can't just advertise a SAFT pre-sale because of U.S. accredited investor laws. So U.S. accredited investors can participate. If you have somebody who you think would want to invest, connect them with Xena, and they can purchase. It's $1 million we're going to raise at a $20 million valuation, and then the public sale would be starting at that same valuation. The nodes have picked up over this week, so we were thinking about closing it and doing a cheesy kind of, hey, we're going to close this down, and then round 2 is coming soon. But with the sureties around the incentivized testnet, it's a nice thing to hype and really bring attention before the sale. So I think keeping the nodes going, it's a nice thing that if people don't want to participate in the sale, or we fill the sale, one of the investor conversations we just had, they were like, well, we want to buy like basically half of that. Like, I don't know if we're going to fit in. So, if we sell out, those nodes would still be a way for people to access, especially U.S. people, and those nodes are revenue, not investment. So on the fundraising side, that's where we're at. We're having those calls, introduce anybody to Xena. On the other side of it, all the conversations that our team needed to come out with, I have a list of 8 conversations that we thought were key, and each of these should be turned into an actionable document. And what I mean by actionable document is we bring it to the source meetings and make an agreement that, yes, this is the direction we are all aligned to moving. Okay, so we weren't able to get all these documented perfectly for like presentation with a lot of people flying yesterday and so forth, but I think 5 of the 8 conversations that we identified as important to have at Breck, we were able to get documentation moving, or at least a clear understanding. And then there's some that ties into some work that like Xena had done. So the team strategy, I think that was the overview of like understanding, okay, we for sure are doing a SAFT, and here's how we are going to incentivize and excite people before the token public token sale. And then the product roadmap, we spent like a good probably 6 hours with other teams that are building on top of us, like Ember and Suraj with the XO team, and really understanding all of the pain points of what we want to validate. So we went through a process listing all of our challenges that we see technically for the product, and then turning those into problem statements, identifying the top most important ones and which ones were time sensitive that we need to knock out, and then gave it all to Kush so that he worked with Alex to align a product roadmap, which we'll share in a minute, and then we'll go to the investor story. Alex did a great job of forcing all of us on the mother team to do our own versions of pitches. So we would come off unique and different in how we pitch to Lino, who is actually on the call here, who has been a venture capitalist in his past, and a few other people that he thought had unique perspectives. So we all got to pitch a few different times and record all those together. And now Punkar, since they were all recorded, Punkar is taking them and aggregating them into what is the best, hottest pitch of all the ideas that we came out there, right? So we'll take that from an investor story, combine that with the work Zena started on with the pitch deck, make sure we have everything ready all the way down to distilling to our elevator pitch. You know, the 30-second pitch, you should have a 2-minute pitch, you should have the half-hour story, and, you know, the deck that is your 10 slides that, you know, you want to show, and then another 10 slides that are making sure that they know that you were thinking about things like what is the biggest risk, what is the biggest competition, you know, all those things that you may only keep those slides available as extras in case they ask that question. And it shows preparation and thought. So a lot came out of that. Zeno present that. The voice of the customer, we spent like probably 5 hours of one day with the whole group just talking about like the demand side. What is the demand side? How does that go? And that really leads into the hackathon and the idea there around that. So we'll present to there. The conversations we didn't get to really finish and dig into are the engineering consortium, the details around how do we say, what is the membrane membership? How does that work? And what will the offer be? What does that look like? We got a lot into team roles and responsibilities, but not into documentation level. And curation mechanism, we didn't really get into that at all there. But those were the discussions we identified as super important to have at the beginning of the retreat. And yeah, it was a pretty grueling schedule. I don't think we did much skiing. Actually, Punkar did a good amount of skiing. But that's because he's good. The rest of us stayed back and we're driving through these conversations. So I just want to share that overview that, you know, we had intention of what we were doing at Breckenridge and really tried to push through. The way we know this was useful is that these conversations, the results of them, get brought to the source circle and turned into actual agreements that we're moving forward aligned. So the first 5, I think, will be coming this Monday. And then we'll probably have the 6, 7, 8 as priority for the following Monday. And before I pass over, I'm going to give from a very, very high level of the strategy. You know, the March is all about preparation. We're raising this 1 million SAFT. We've already got about 20K, but with the messaging of the incentivized testnet, I think, you know, we should be able to get closer to 100K. I do think we'll sell out the SAFT. There's up to 1 million in NFT nodes. So people can come in, and if the SAFT sells out and they still want access, or if they're a US investor and cannot purchase the SAFTs because they're not accredited, they can do the nodes. And then the actual launch contracts, I think we want to make sure that we know and understand the design we want to use. And, you know, we've been working with Access Finance on this, but making sure if there's extra components that we have time to code and audit them before the launch. So that's real important for preparation in March. In April, we need to really dig into that advisor selection to get the best ones. We did 10 in a hurry to have them up there before the pre-sale raise. Now we're going to take 10 with a lot of intention. An example of this is I talked to Diana Chen, the host of the Rehash podcast, thought she might be a great potential advisor. And I told her I'm going to send her information after ETH Denver on how she can say officially she wants to be an advisor. And then we're going to bring that to the team and we're going to hold off. So we're not just offering, we're confirming that they want to do that. And then we'll be able to pick the best ones as we go into April. Then the DAO launch prep, Pukai started a lot of work on that. And, you know, that's obviously important because it makes sure that things continue in a stable way as we move into the DAO. And then we need all the token support, the things like market making, exchanges, all those that Medium will be handling primarily. And then preparing for the first airdrop, kind of detailing out. We want to do something really interesting with this that actually incentivizes all the right behaviors, right? And so we updated the model on the token sale SAFT memo to actually say that the airdrop will happen over multiple airdrops over time. So we want to create something, that this won't start till after the public token sale, but we need to prepare and have a thesis for how are we going to use this to get people to, hold their tokens, try participating in the best way they can at the beginning early, and then continue participating down the path where we move them from aware of what Mother is to active to engaged. And retention being a huge key of what we want to use it for, rather than just spiking interest on day one and then nobody ever sees it again. And then May, that's go time, man. That is launch. Launching on Mother's Day is the goal. That's the number one thing right now. We want Mother on Mother's Day. Okay, simple as that. It'll be up to 20 million in the public sale unless we choose to change that. The DAO needs to be ready to launch alongside it. So when people claim their tokens, they delegate immediately. And we also need to launch that Mama curation, or that would be part of the network, you would think. And so the network, technically, according to what Hester Pierce has said with like the US stuff and those laws, is that 3 to 6 months is what they see as a reasonable time to become sufficiently decentralized. So we need to keep that in mind, that as this launches and we say we're launching the network basically alongside the token, that's kind of the reasonable time frame that has been established for us to be able to launch the network in full post public token sale. Ideally, we could do it at the same time, but I know that's a stretch. So there is a little leeway there. That is it for my presentation. I'm going to pass to Kush for the product roadmap now, sharing those discoveries. And then we'll hit Xena with presentations she put together for the pitch deck. But it hasn't fully been combined with all of Punkar's insights from all those other discussions. So, Kush, hit it.
Yep. So I already shared a glimpse of it in my previous stint. But yeah, basically identifying what are the main challenges, or let's say the areas we need to focus on from a product perspective. It's primarily around making a developer experience as smooth as possible. So it's basically breaking the entire product down into like 3 different parts, which is basically registry and code integration, like how exactly do the agent to agent communication workflows work. Secondly, how is the flow going to look like for existing builders and the newer builders who are going to come on the network. And thirdly, the integrations and the integration partners that we're working with, and the internal architecture that currently Stan is working on. So there are other things as well, but like these ones are the ones that we are prioritizing right now at the moment. So yeah, looking at the registry is like pretty much completed. One of the tasks in the coming week will be to or host a proper registry link that we can use to then onboard the developers onto the platform. So now again, a requisite for that is that every developer who comes onto the registry needs to have a Nevermind agent and a planned DID. So now the ideal flow that I would like over there would be like get in a conversation with these agent builders and actually like handhold them and onboard them onto the registry, so that we can like help them guide through the Nevermind process and it doesn't become a blocker for them over there. So yeah, we've basically got 2 versions of registry. We've got to like finalize on one of them and like start to put that out basically. Next, for the existing versus new builders flow, we've got 2 of these integrations right now. One with Suraj showed, so that's basically for the new builders. So the goal over there is to like kickstart the entire process so that they can directly get into the building agent part without focusing, or let's say troubling themselves to get acquainted with other protocols that we're using like Intuition and Nevermind, and also not not wasting their time, or let's say focusing their energy on the other parts of, let's say, how the orchestration is happening. So with the goal over there is that with Exo, once you deploy a particular agent, you currently haven't directly had a template agent which is like connected to the registry and is able to coordinate with the other teams and also like discoverable on the registry. So that's the new builders flow. For the existing builders flow, I actually like sat with Ember and Ember's team to like understand what their agent looks like, how they've like done stuff, and what's the best way to integrate over there. So from the current understanding, to push everything towards the end of the month, like by the end of the month, we can simply focus on like a very simple templated version of the code that we have, so that any agent builder can then identify, and let's say we can guide them that okay, these are the two files that you need to import into your code, and this is the function where you need to like put your business logic in. And so far, I haven't seen a lot of difficulty from Ember side in doing that. Of course, there are a few questions which come up, and we're taking care of them as well. As for example, in terms of like data specification and like what exactly, how the other agent knows what the other agent requires in input. So those things are being worked on as we speak. Next is the integration and internal architecture. So integrations, when I say integration, I mean the other teams like Nevermind, Intuition. We're soon going to be having Kalani and Cartesi, they're in conversations as well. So how do they kind of fit into the internal infrastructure, and how do we make sure that we're able to do it in such a manner where we do not get like vendor logged in, and people also have the customizability to like pick and choose what infrastructure they want to build on. So those are the things that right now Stan is currently working on, and we're gonna be like clubbing together these parts, both of these parts, in the upcoming week to like make it more wholesome and like comprehensive. So that's kind of when these things will start to come together. Uh, Again, a lot of, as James mentioned before, a lot of these things are like on a very infrastructure level, so it kind of like makes it difficult to completely visualize what's happening behind the scenes. uh yeah, so we already discussed the API specification part. Coming on to the AVS and DAO for verification, these are something that we have like currently planned for the last of this week, like the last week of March. So the goal over there would be like deploy a very simple AVS which can actually like plug into our system and do the slashing and verification, and the DAO aspect basically for curation and making sure that actually the agents who are coming on the registry can be are kind of like governable through the DAO. So those are the two things over there. Yep. Next step will be like finalize the registry and like put it on, deploy it. So I'll be reaching out to, I think Code J is currently handling the domain, so I'll be reaching out to you for getting at that. Uh, Getting this API specification kind of documentation ready, which is something where Kalani comes in. So that's something we'll also start working on from next week. Orchestrator and messaging bus, and is taking care of it. Hackathon preparation. The goal is to like get this to a level where it can be used in the hackathon, where a lot of these concerns are popping up in the previous call around coordination. So the goal is to like take them out as much as possible before that, so we can like focus on fresh problems over there and actually move towards the output that is required. And yeah, AVS and DAO verification, and then May 11 is what we have finalized right now for the TGE. So that's pretty much where we're at the moment. So yeah. Any questions, guys?
James, anything to add to that? I know we're running up on time, but
All good.
cool.
Awesome.
So I guess now we have Zena. We'll give you a couple of minutes, and then we'll just we'll just wrap it up there at the end.
Sure.
Zena, you want to go ahead? Zena, are you there? Oh, maybe she is not there. If not, then we could have her talk about the pitch at another time. I think next up we could have. I can briefly talk about a couple things. One is the hackathon, which actually the virtual hackathon, which we're going to have a larger discussion on this. I'll share my screen quickly. The virtual hackathon was something that we discussed a lot at the at Breckenridge, and kind of where it fits and why it's important. This virtual hackathon. Now, I will caveat this by saying in the previous call, we had a discussion around what is the core of the hackathon. Should it be in Minecraft? Should it actually be only a few teams focus on building specific use cases? Should it be more towards voice of the consumer, and kind of like some of the consumer demands, and then tying towards there? What that ends up coming back to is these are some of the things that I've talked to Joe and Joe's written about of what are some of the biggest things that we actually need to validate. This is something that we'll put through to the source call on Monday. But in our eyes, there's like, or especially like in Joe's eyes, these are some of the most important things. Like, can an agent complete more tasks when plugged into the motherboard? What are the agent builder's needs? What are some of the interactions? And like, can an agent actually pay for, utilize, etc.? Completing more tasks, and then can agent find unique pathways for executing prompts? Now, a lot of these validations and some of the other constraints from like a fundraising and kind of narrative approach will bring back to this virtual hackathon and be able to define it. But I've written up how we had discussed it at the end of Breckenridge, and then we'll come with a more specific outline of it. At the end of the day, what is becoming clear is that we need some mechanism that is time bound, that allows us to start to find other teams and incorporate them into the registry and have them start together or work through Mother. Whether that's a virtual hackathon, a season 0, a kind of finding specific builders towards the end consumer, that's something we'll define, but we do need some sort of mechanism to start to test and validate that for multiple reasons. Any questions on this before I tie into the VOC part?
One thing I just like to add there that, like when we talk about like product and validations, like, and I connected to a fundraising thing holistically, you can think of like raising funds like peeling risk off like layers of an onion off. You just like one layer of risk versus one layer of risk, right? So being able to build something is one of those risks, but our team has shown incredible ability to build stuff forward. And then there's the thinking that they have, like, how does this have value? What needs to be validated? So when we're thinking about this hackathon, it wasn't about the idea of having a hackathon. So as some others have put out there a few other ideas of how we could validate certain things. The goal is trying to validate a few of those things, tear away those layers of risk for anybody who wants to buy the token or like participate in Mother's public token sale. By the time we get there, we should have peeled a lot more risk off, and those are things that we can validate potentially through this format.
Yep, that's awesome. And one of the kind of risks or things that we want to start to test out is around the voice of consumer from both the supply side and the demand side, where in our words, the way we're using the demand side is like, who is requesting some input? It could be a head of growth, it could be an agent, it could be something else, but it's like, what does that demand side look like? And then this other side is the supply side, like who are the agentic businesses and what do they look like? So I had a ton of conversations through Denver and through Breckenridge, and we'll start to see here some of the things that I'm pulling out of how people act differently. This voice of consumer is, we're trying to keep it pure, like how do they think about items within the context of their life? And that mental model allows us, we can leverage in many ways. Those requirements we can leverage for some of the economic design of, how much people need to be incentivized, what do those things look like? We can leverage for what are their requirements for participating in the hackathon? We can leverage for the registry, etc. But these are some of the things that I'm seeing. And a couple of the big ones is like the agentic businesses, when they are a business like an Ember or an Alpine X, they're thinking about their business and they're thinking and not just about an agent. What I mean by that is that a lot of times it's like, this is actually how I take care of my livelihood. So they're asking questions like, what part of my agent or my swarm or my SDK do I actually need to open source? And what part can be proprietary? They're also thinking about things like maintenance consideration. What if I have two versions, one in Mother and one outside of Mother? They're also thinking about things like what they care a lot about is how can I help my business get distribution or how can I fundraise? So this is something I'm going to put through the source code, but I'll continue to add to this, and so we can become more crisp about how we understand these agentic businesses, supply side and dev shops like think about things, and how that kind of percolates through the rest of our design. That's mine. And so anyways, this is the end. We'll have some more coming out of this. I hope you guys can see that Breck caused a lot of open questions, a lot of good conversations towards alignment. And now we can actually better align towards some of those things. I know we have 1 minute left before we sign off. James, Matt, Joe, anybody else, anything to add to this?
No, it looks like Xena just came back. If you want to start it, a bunch of people might need to drop, but if you want to do a quick, couple minutes, quick overview of the deck, Xena.
Sure, sorry, I messed up the time. I was convinced that it's now. So let me share the screen and show the presentation. All right, so let's go quickly. In a couple of years, there's going to be more agents than people on the planet, and each of these agents would need to be plugged into infrastructure level in order to participate in the agentic commerce. These agents don't need to rest. Instead, they need to coordinate resources like computing, LLMs, and data. And once assigned the tasks, these agents will operate autonomously, just connecting to the other networks of agents to manage resource allocation, select models, and retrieve data all on our behalf. However, without proper agent curation, bad agents will really start creating a lot of noise and inefficiencies. So how do we really know which agent we can trust? Because in the era where AI agents transact, collaborate, and make decisions on behalf of users and businesses, trust is not an option, trust is infrastructure. Mother solves the industry trust issue with a on-chain registry of verified agents. Agents connect to a curated marketplace for collaboration, and with its infrastructure, tools, and community, builders can create, thrive, while businesses get this agentic power to get the work done. Motherboard, effectively, is the fastest way for AI agents to become discoverable and profitable. We have the whole bunch of technologies that will help that, but primarily agents would have to register, get verified, and then they can collaborate, leverage, and ensemble reasoning for real-time knowledge sharing and task automation. However, that's on the B2B side, but on the B2C side, agents need to be discoverable, and agents will be there where people already are. Anyone will be able to send a task to an agent just within their interface, and that will go back to registry, come back with the result to people where they are. And Mother is the whole ecosystem play. It doesn't compete with other AI platforms. It integrates the best players to create the ecosystem that properly curates and coordinates AI agents. It's all possible thanks to a strong team of Mother that has both very deep crypto native and enterprise experience on top of DAO management and managing decentralized organizations, which we believe is one of our strong competitive advantages.